Report thanks Edmund Besch of Bristol Burgess Insurance Agency, 65 East Main Street, Westfield, for his generous grant to provide news to seniors. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding is provided by a grant from Absolute Care of Westfield, committed to returning the favor to those who spent a lifetime caring for others. Absolute Care is located at 26 Cass Street in Westfield. Dave Cass and Rick Newell provide funding on behalf of the Lakeview Hotel and Restaurant at the Docks, located on Water Street near the lake in Mayville. Senior Report with Reed Powers thanks Westfield's Schultz Chevy for a generous grant to inform seniors of important news. Over 50 years of service to Westfield by Chevrolet, Schultz Chevy across from the school. The physicians of Jamestown Primary Care are happy to sponsor the Senior Report. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
And good morning. What a beautiful day we have here in Chautauqua County. It isn't even freezing yet, and there's a little drizzle to keep your flowers going to the last minute, although they're about finished. I think that later in the week we've got some frost coming on for sure. As a matter of fact, it's going to be down in the 30s. And once it drops below 42, you're going to have frost, folks. So you don't have to mow the lawn anymore. Let the lawn grow a little bit. Build up some roots. That's what you do. Had a great dinner. The last day of business, they have a little French restaurant over along Chautauqua Lake, and we had a terrific dinner there. Jack Bailey, I want to thank him for all his help for Senior Report. Jack Bailey, incidentally, the senior. Now, there are two Jack Baileys over at Chautauqua who live there. This Jack Bailey's in his upper 80s, and he and his lovely wife, Kay, are sharp as a tack. Jack's particularly informed, very well informed in politics and what's going on, and he's a great conversationalist. We had a terrific chat, and he appreciates good wine. Chateauneuf de Pape is one of the best. He's a huge supporter of Chautauqua in funding, and he's been there every year of his life excepting 1 year. Now he's in his high 80s, every year of his life. And Kay just about the same. And the certain people over there are just terrific. They provide the support, the funding, the advertising, and everything else that keeps Chautauqua running. And Chautauqua is a gemstone of our lovely county. I'll tell you that right now. It brings in an awful lot of people in the summer. Tourism rampant. And I just want to thank you, Jack, for being a good Samaritan and a good citizen here in Chautauqua County. He doesn't live in Chautauqua during the winter. He has a home in Florida, but Jack comes up in June, and he doesn't leave until sometime in October. He doesn't just stay for the season. So at any rate, I want you to also support Chautauqua. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, and it has tremendous cultural value, and it's a big magnet for tourism in our county, as is Chautauqua Lake. And I've got a guy here, we're going to talk about how we're going to clear up Chautauqua Lake, among other things. We have with us a special guest, Rudy Mueller, and he's going to just chat a little bit about the current things going on here and in Albany. He is currently a candidate for the Assembly, running against Andy Goodell, and that's going to be an interesting race we'll be watching. So at any rate, hang in there, fellas. We got a lot going for us. I want to say the national news is just appalling. The debate was rather interesting. Everybody's criticizing Obama, saying he lost. He didn't bring up the 47% little people, half of them retirees, who are avoiding taxes and living off the government. Well, wait a minute. We retirees put in an awful lot of money for Social Security over the 50, 60 years we worked. And now we're getting some back from it. If that money had been put into blue chips, even in doing this depressed economy, we would have millions. Lots of luck, fellas, who are collecting $700 to $800 a month in your Social Security. Good luck. Seniors are really suffering because Social Security has not been giving us the COLA. They've got their phony federal figures, their core inflation. Oh, there's no inflation. You go down to the market, go down and go out anywhere, buy insurance. Everything is rocketing. No inflation. You don't need a COLA. We've lost half our income. We're down to 47 cents on a dollar in the last 10 years alone. No wonder seniors are having to have the reverse mortgage, which is a scam game, I think, on their homes. They'll lose their homes, but they'll only get a half of it back. They're getting very little for the home. So much for their kids. They're not going to have that home. They're going to have to live in their rentals again. Seniors in trouble. We've got to go after Congress and say, you've got to give the seniors a full, complete, fair cost of living adjustment for your Social Security, because you can't even buy bread at this point. It's getting worse and worse. All right, enough said about that. In the state level, we're going to be talking to Rudy, who's pretty well organized and knowledgeable about the state. We have the incredible taxes, of course. The state, they tell us, is now business friendly. Just bend over. That's all I can say. The taxes are murder. Not only for that, but our sales taxes, our income taxes, everything in the state level going up, expensive hell to pay, if you know what I mean. Locally in Chautauqua County, we have a tax problem also. We still have a $4 million deficit. Where we're going to find the dough, the only way you can generate more money here is real estate taxes. That's it. We can't get higher taxes for the products we buy. That's out. The New York State tax is out for that. Both Assemblyman and our state senator oppose it. That's it. Ain't going to happen. No sales tax increase. Strictly off your real estate. Highest in the country. Getting worse. All right. We've got to talk to our legislature about this and figure out how we can reduce our taxes seriously and meaningfully. They keep telling us every year they're reducing the taxes, but we seem to be paying more and more. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe Rudy can explain that. He was on that county executive board for how many years?
4.
4 years. He knows all about it. He knows where the skeletons are buried. Locally, lots of good things happening. Gee, we have just so many. The farmers markets are closing down shortly, but we have the best stuff here. And incidentally, ice skating will start up soon, and ice fishing, because it's getting nippy out there in Chautauqua County. Lots of things going on. Oh, here's John Hamels. Let's get a picture of him. He's in Germany, believe it or not. His son's over there. And he's showing off some lederhosen. Lederhosen are those sort of half pants that the Germans wear, and they cost $200 a pair. That's what he tells us. He's in the Southwest, in Leonberg. Incidentally, there's the Oktoberfest, which is a big deal in Germany. Is coming on soon. I guess the idea in Oktoberfest is to drink all the beer you can. It's been nice over there, he tells me. It's a woman's paradise. He had schnitzel the other day. That's a pork deal where they pound the pork out and flatten it and bread it, and it's put a nice sauce on it. Wow. He's thinking of buying a castle over there somewhere. Lots of luck. How can you own a castle in Germany if you live here? I think he's kidding me. They're going to the Black Forest. You know, the Black Forest is noted for two things: cakes and cuckoo clocks. Yep, and the cuckoo clocks aren't cheap either. To make that little birdie do what it does is a big buck. A lot of engineering and gears and stuff in it. He wants to remind everybody there is the Westfield Rotary and Mayville Rotary Gold Rush coming up October 20th. And you get a big steak dinner, a chance to win cash prizes, an auction, all kinds of things, and you're going to have a very low odds on a $1,000 cash prize. Children's Safety Village is having a scare thing. They'll scare you to death, a kid's death. It's called the Town of Terror. It's over at the Children's Safety Village, and you might want to drop by over there, he says, and have some real Halloween fun with your kiddies. Enough said. Thank you, John. Have fun over in Germany. Eat lots of schnitzel and drink lots of beer on Oktoberfest. I don't know when he's going to come back. I think he wants to live over there. He's buying a castle. All right. Let's see. I got a lot of local news here. First of all, I want to welcome, I also have a policy of welcoming new businesses, and I just had one right here. There's Beth's Cafe right across from the park in Westfield. Used to be an ice cream parlor, now it's a cafe. She has homemade soups, which she makes daily. They're fresh soups, and all kinds of fresh stuff. Baked goods, and by a professional local bakers. It's open Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 2. It's for breakfast, lunch. And just drop by and say hi to Beth. Tell them you heard about it on Senior Report. Okay. Great Belt Seniors. Quite a bunch out there. They have a reader's theater, and now you can go in and talk about books. And that's always fun, you know. They can pick their own books, or you can pick a book. Everybody should read the same book, you understand. And then you chat about it, and it's kind of fun. They're having a flu clinic, and don't miss the flu clinics, guys. The highest mortality rate from flu is senior citizens. Yeah, you drop dead from it. So get your shot. That'll give you some kind of protection usually. It's cheap or free because Medicare pays for it, and also you'll get part of it out of your Medigap if not. And the flu clinic is at the Great Bell Seniors, and it'll be Friday, October 5th. 9:30 to 12:30, and most senior groups have a flu clinic. So check it out and drop by. They're going to a casino trip, of course, in the Seneca Nation. Oh, they love it. Everybody, all senior groups have great trips to the casinos. Don't spend the money they give you frivolously. Use it. If you lose it, get out. If you win, get out. Do not really gamble. They're having a harvest dinner dance Saturday, November 10th with the Kokomo Band. Okay, Lakeshore Seniors. They meet over at the lovely Senior Center in Dunkirk. It's a great, wonderful senior center. Barb Barbarich is the head of that. She turns the key. And she says, hey, we got a lot of great things coming on, so drop around. Great Belt Seniors, I've mentioned them already. Univera Insurance is going to be there, talking about health insurance for seniors. The Lakeshore Seniors, as I mentioned, they have that great Dunkirk Senior Center where they meet. Helper of the day over there was Stella Mikulak and others who assisted. I like that. No names, just others. Kitchen committee for October 10th is Carrie Goronsky and Marion Genovese. Everybody has lovely food and coffee and conversation and everything, and then bingo, of course, immediately after. Phyllis Laredo is presiding over the Sharon Cares Board of Directors, and she tells us they're having a harvest dinner at the Fredonia Beaver Club, October 27th. Peanuts. October 16th, they're going to the Salamanca Casino, and if you want more information, 679-1060. All righty. Helper of the day, Stella Mikulak and others who assisted. I love it. Sheridan Seniors, they have their own song. I got to have them come over here and talk, sing their song. They're telling us to say a prayer for Milt Gruich and Ellen, Mark Gruich and Mabel Warner. Okay, we got a guy right here now. I just read his report, his letter, and here he is in person. Good morning, John.
Guten Morgen, Reed, mein Freund.
Well, we don't speak that stuff. I hear you're going to buy a castle over there. That means you're moving.
It's a beauty. What do you think?
You're moving.
We could have this. We could set up the whole studio, and there's lots of room.
Do you have a dungeon? That's what I want to know. I got some friends I want to drop into there.
I would put one in for you.
Okay.
That's a beautiful castle. It's not a typical castle, but it was some real wealthy German nobleman built it for his wife so that she could go and do art and music and write. And it's the Castle of Solitude.
And it
was beautiful there.
And he's selling it.
No, I was just playing.
Oh, okay. Darn it, I thought that was for real. I was going to go over and visit you.
Well, when you told me you owned that Carnival ship, I believed you.
I don't remember saying that, but it would be nice. Those ships,
yeah.
Well, yeah, but you could probably pick up the Costa pretty cheap, though.
Well, things are beautiful here in Germany. If anyone's ever been to Germany, it looks a lot like back home in Chautauqua County. Rolling hills, the trees are just starting to turn, and the weather is pretty typical of what we're experiencing back home. So,
I bet you don't have
have
the trees we have. You should see the trees. The woods are on fire with the yellows and the oranges and the reds. It's gorgeous now.
They're just beginning here along the Autobahn and in some of the expressways, but mostly it's still green here. But they have a lot of oak and maple here, especially oak.
Well, the maples are great. The sugar maples, they're suffering up here. They've got the black spot mold now. Tell me, they tell me there's no speed limit on most of the Autobahn. Is that correct?
Well, this is the way it works. There are places that are posted just like you have on the thruway. All right? And you can go, let's say, from 100 kilometers, which is about 62 miles an hour, and then it'll say, no speed limit. We were passed by Maseratis and Ferraris over the years, going at least 150 to 180 miles an hour, easy.
And they're all legal.
Well, yeah, and we used to say, well, what happens if an animal comes out in front of you? Well, they've killed them all, so there aren't any left. But it's true, there are places there is no limit. You just have to use your common sense. But, yeah, that's how you can get from one end of Germany to the other in no time around here. It's like out in Texas where you have you can go 80, 85 miles an hour in parts.
Yeah, that certainly beats it, having no speed limit. And, of course, I noticed you were eating Wiener Schnitzel, and you're going to drink yourself silly.
Wiener Schnitzel, yeah.
On Oktoberfest, you're going to drink all the beer you can hold, right?
The people, they are definitely in their lederhosens and their big dresses down here. We were walking through the city of Stuttgart today, and there's a festival going on. Oktoberfest goes for like 16 days, and so they're out there partying and drinking their liters of beer and having a wonderful time. Lots of festivals, mimes, jugglers. It's really a lot of fun. A lot of street musicians. So it's really quite nice.
Well, that's good.
Anyways,
I thought I just. What's that? You started.
I was just saying. I thought I'd give you a quick call. That was all.
Well, I do appreciate it. All the way from Germany too.
All the way from Leonberg, Germany, just a little bit north of Stuttgart.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like a beautiful place.
It is. It really, truly is. And if people haven't traveled into Europe, it's really, they're missing something. First, visit America. That's my first rule of thumb. And then when you've traveled most of America, then go try out Europe. It's just like many parts of our own country.
Go to France, like you did.
Yeah. We're going to be returning there, I think, sometime next week for a little bit of shopping, probably over in Strasbourg area. Have you been to Strasbourg?
I've never been in Germany, actually. That's the one place I
No. Strasbourg is on the edge of France and Germany.
Oh, Strasbourg. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I've traveled a lot of France, especially in the Loire Valley. But I basically hole up in Paris. That's a gorgeous place to live for a while.
Sure. So who's our guest today? Is it Rudy?
We've got Rudy Mueller, who's running for the Assembly against Andy Goodell. and he also is a longtime member of our county legislature, and he's going to tell us what's going on over there.
I bet you he can speak a little German.
I don't know. Mueller that's not German. It is German. You're totally.
Yula.
He says he doesn't speak it.
I'll do it for him next time.
Right.
Well, listen, I won't keep you guys. You got an important show, and just want to say hello to everybody. And next week, I really don't know where I'll be next week, just like I didn't know for sure where I'll be today. But if I can call in, I will. If not, I'll write you and send you a picture. Okay?
Or maybe you'll be sitting here in your chair.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay, thank you, John Hamels. Doc, for tuning in.
All right, and have a wonderful show. Goodbye.
Okay, auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Bye-bye.
See, I speak German. Okay, enough said. I've got a public service announcement for you, and then we're going to put Rudy on. Rudy's only going to have 10 minutes left. Okay, here's for you. This is a nice little one.
Age is the color that your skin was meant to be, no longer beautiful. Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and one person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
There you go, friends. I was suggesting that, when you're on camera, you've got to get close so that they can get a closer view of you. And Randy Burt here is a professional cameraman who could work in any TV studio in the country now. Thank you, Randy. You do a great job. The worst mistake cameramen make, Rudy, is they scalp you like that. Randy doesn't do that. Okay, we got Rudy Mueller with us, a long-term member of our county legislature. He is a physician, a doctor, an internist, and he's one of the two people running for Albany's assembly seat. We've got a doctor and a lawyer, and they say, how are you going to heal the assembly up there in Albany, which is struggling and suffering? And they say, well, we need a doctor, but we could use a lawyer. Who knows? But here you go. Tell us where you came from, first of all, Rudy. Where were you born and raised?
Lakewood, Ohio.
Lakewood, Ohio, not Lakewood, New York.
No, but if move here, we're going to live in Lakewood. Had to do that. So,
yeah.
And we're glad we like it.
Yeah, Lakewood. Yeah, you
love it.
It is a beautiful community, right at the edge of the lake there too. Woods by the lake, Lakewood. Bag-tied in the middle, or place of long agony, or something. I don't know whatever Chautauqua means.
I did my training in Chicago, and we have 5 children. We had 3 when we moved here, and then we've had 2.
Okay. What are the kids doing now? Some of them must be adults.
Oh yeah, they're most of them are off to college or working. So have one left at home.
Girl, if you got that many kids in college, you better be a doctor. I had 3 at the same time, because we had them 1, 2, 3, bang, 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 and then we didn't foresee the fact they'd all be in college at the same time.
Yeah.
Yikes!
It's pretty interesting, yes.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Okay, now you're running for the State Assembly, and this is not an infomercial or a promotion for Rudy Mueller to be elected to the Assembly. We also have regularly on our show Andy Goodell, who's doing a good job. As a matter of fact, he says he's done wonders for the Assembly. I don't know, but tell us, why would you want to go to the Assembly? Being a politician in New York State and anywhere in the country is kind of a bad move these days. I mean, you're getting a hell of a rap. What would make you run for Assembly?
Well, for one, healthcare is a mess. It's way too expensive, and there's no physician.
Well, you know why it's expensive. We're the only country in the world that has insurance companies that we have to pay them to give us back some, and it costs us 30% or more over the board in just the costs. And they won't change that because they give millions of dollars to the Congress every year, so they keep them going, and they collect almost $1 trillion a year off our health care.
Well, there's no physicians in Albany in the Assembly, and so it hasn't been for decades. So I'm hoping that I can make health care more affordable and accessible for people in Chautauqua County and rural New York. I also am very passionate about the lake. That lake is critical to our economy, and the state owns the lake, and if that lake continues to deteriorate, your property taxes are going up.
And you're not going to have any more people coming living by the lake. The tourists are going to stop coming.
Well, right, and it's really important to it. And then I also think I was an effective legislator. I was able to make things happen, and I think I'm much more likely to bend the assembly towards the middle. And I think I'm much more likely to get important legislation for Chautauqua County people through the assembly, which and in the majority, I would serve in the majority. And I think I was a very effective legislator. We need legislation to get through, for instance, for regional high schools, things for the energy plant. Again, legislation for the lake, the state. We need millions invested into that lake.
They only gave us what? Well, no, I shouldn't say only. They did give us $100,000, right?
Yeah, to cut the weeds for 1 year. I
mean, that's like mowing your lawn. It goes right back.
No, we need. It's expensive, but long-term investment in that lake. It will protect and preserve our lake and the other freshwaters in western New York.
What you say long term? What are you going to do? How are you going to stop these weeds from growing? You can't go down and pluck them up. They keep growing, and you try to mow them. You lose about a good percentage of the clippings going back into the lake, and they float ashore and they capture minnows and things, and they smell like hell.
What do you do? The long-term things that we need to do. First, we need to finish adding tertiary treatment facilities to the water treatment plants at the institution in the north end of the lake. That removes a lot of the phosphates that get into the lake. I believe we need to finish the sewer lines around the lake. If we don't do that, then we need to have aggressive septic system in place. And then the third thing is we need to dredge the lake. And I think we're going to need to dredge the lake.
How do you dredge a lake? Holy mackerel.
It's doable. It's expensive, but it's doable, and I think the long-term protection of the lake is dredging. And so those are the long-term major investments that we need to make in the lake. We also need to continue doing the things around the lake that prevent the sediments getting into the lake, and that's through the bed tax and all those different projects that happen every year. That was really important that we get that started and continuing, and then we can go back to the state, hey, we've done this, the community's stepped up, we've done all these different projects, now it's your turn. We need major investment. We need to finish the sewer lines. It will bring jobs to the area, and the people who put the sewer lines in, they're gonna live here, spend the money here. The money's gonna come right back into the community. It's a major investment. We dredge the lake. The lake needs to be dredged every year. You can do small areas, that need it every year for the next 20 years, and we need to add tertiary treatment into water treatment plants. And that's about a $10 million investment.
Yeah, it looks like a whopping amount of money, all told.
Well, it's a major investment, but you could spread that over a 20-year period or something. You could do a bonding thing. And again, the money is going to be spent right in this community. It's going to come right back into it. People are going to be paying taxes that go back to the state. And it's going to lift up property values. I mean, you mentioned that we have the highest real estate taxes in the country. Well, one reason why that is it's by property value. We have low property values, so if the lake deteriorates, that's going to drop our property values even more, which is going to make the tax rates even higher. So by improving the property values around the lake, over 25% of the property taxes come from 1% of the land right around the lake. And it's not just Chautauqua Lake, it's the other lakes too that are, the lakes in western New York, they're all having these problems. The Finger Lakes, Cassadaga Lake, Findlay Lake, even Lake Erie has an algae problem. So
I want to point out that a lot of people go swimming in Lake Erie around Barcelona. There's a beach there, and they come down. God bless the town of Westfield that comes down and dredges that, or they come out with big machines that pick up the weeds and they load them onto trucks and take them away to somewhere.
Right. Well, I mean, in the '60s, Lake Erie was dying. Again, I grew up in Lakewood, Ohio. I remember it, and it was devastating to to all the cities that lived, to the communities that lived along Lake Erie, and they realized that it was really important to protect and preserve Lake Erie, and it did. It turned things around.
They stopped them from dumping raw sewage into the lake, among other things.
Right. So it's not just Chautauqua Lake. We need to invest in our natural resources and protect and preserve them. And we also need to invest in our infrastructure. We have major job losses in this community. The state has not invested in infrastructure.
Yeah, when you get a bridge down, they fix it very easily. They put a stop sign there and say, "Bridge out, no more crossing." That's it. Well, I know 4 bridges in the Westfield area that have those signs.
Well, we put NRG, the state through.
You said energy. That is the biggest shocker coming up in the whole county. I mean, we got the lake problem, and of course the alternatives to not fixing the lake problem are uglier than the extra taxes to fix it, because it's going to just be one mass of green stuff that'll kill you.
Yeah. So and then the NRG power plant.
Big problem.
Yeah, and so here they spend $400 million to make it EPA, meet EPA regulations for 2015.
Right.
But then they mothball the plant, they close the plant, lay off hundreds of employees who were paying significant taxes because we can't get the power from Western New York to New York City and Long Island. The Western New York power, it costs significantly less than what they're paying in New York City. But here we haven't invested in transmission lines. We can't get it past Utica.
You can't just can it up and send it down either. You got to have those lines. No lines, no transportation, no sales. Goodbye NRG.
So I agree with Senator Young. The state needs to invest. It's a lot of investment. It will cost billions. It's estimated between $2 and $3 billion to build those lines, to bring them up 21st century, abilities. But it's estimated around 40,000 jobs. And that's a lot. The New York City, Long Island area, they're going to be paying for most of that because they're going to get significant lower cost energy from Western New York, and so we can use that difference to pay for those energy lines. So it's not going to be dumped onto the taxpayers. But you need the legislature. You need somebody in the assembly, in the majority, who can get this legislation through. She's in the majority in the Senate,
Kathy Young,
and she can carry that bill. But you need somebody in the majority in the assembly who can do that, and I can do that. And we need to get that. We don't need to build. I agree with Governor Cuomo on a lot of things. But I don't agree with him on building an energy line that would cost just as much, if not more, and send it up to Canada and then send our money to Canada. I think we've got power plants in Western New York that are going to meet EPA regulations. They also can burn a biomass, which also will protect the environment, and it will help local
and natural gas. Energy said they want to convert to natural gas.
Yeah, that too. But right now the price of natural gas is low. But when the coal plants in Ohio start shutting down,
there goes the price of natural gas.
Natural gas is going to go back up, and coal will then also. So you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. We need to have energy resources from all of them, wind, solar, coal, gas, on and on. And so, if we just say, we're just going to just natural gas, the price of natural gas is going up. And so it just doesn't make sense to mothball these power plants where we spent the $400 million.
Okay, there we go. We have a phone call. You want to take one?
Sure.
Hey, good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning, both of you. I have two questions, please. I went in to place a vote for Rudy, and then I learned that I had to be registered with Independent Party, and then I learned if I did that, I would not be able to vote in the primary. Would you explain to me how and why that exists? I've talked with really intelligent people, and they don't understand that either. And my second question...
Well, let's do the first.
Okay.
Then we'll give you a second. How about that?
Well, the independence party line, you had to be a registered independent voter, and this is New York State. So that was for the line. So
that was the primary.
For the primary, and you had to be a registered Independence Party voter. Some states you don't. It doesn't. You can vote on any, but not in New York State.
Yeah, you can cross.
So you had to be to vote in the conservative. You had to be a registered Conservative Party member, or to vote in the Independence Party primary. You had to be a registered independent.
Yeah, as well as
and I appreciate your support, but but we have a general. Mr. Goodell will have 3 lines. I'll have 2. And but I appreciate your support, and I'll be on the ballot, and
you'll be all over the ballot 2 times, yeah.
Right.
So you can find it.
It is. I will admit it's confusing. I heard a lot of people complain they wanted to vote, and they weren't given that opportunity. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, in a primary you got to be a member of the party. It's that simple. All right, there you go. Does that help you on the first question?
Yes, I guess so.
Okay.
I don't necessarily like the way it is, but that's it.
Yeah, well, basically, most of the election laws are designed to prevent people who are not well connected from running for office, because you might get the wrong guy in there, you know.
That's how I had seen it too.
Yeah, well, they're doing that in Pennsylvania, among other places. Go ahead.
Yeah, some states, anybody who's a registered voter can vote on any, but not in New York State. And maybe we should open that up. It definitely doesn't sound fair, and it is discouraging to the voter. You really, here you wanted to vote and you weren't given that opportunity, and it's sad.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, now question number 2.
Okay, now I talked with someone who said that our GPs, our general practitioners, are going to be almost phased out of business by the year 2014, and because they are so underpaid. Could you address that, please?
Well, I'm trying to get health care more affordable and accessible for the people in Western New York, rural New York, for you and your family. Physicians, they're being paid fair, and they're doing well. I'm a primary care physician. I'm fortunate. My family, we've been blessed, and I'm just trying to make the healthcare system work better.
What do you think about universal health care?
Obviously,
we're the only country in the world that doesn't have it, that's developed. We pay the insurance companies 30%, and they make trillions.
Yeah, so to answer your question, do we need more primary care physicians in Western New York? Absolutely. Do physicians have huge debt coming out of their training? Absolutely. And does it discourage them from going into primary care? Yeah, absolutely. You make much more money in specialty care, and that is a major reason why physicians are going into more specialties instead of primary care. But to have an effective, cost-efficient healthcare system that actually delivers good care to the population, to everybody, you need primary care physicians, and you need we need more of them. Again, there's no physician in Albany in the Assembly. At least I can bring the voice of what it's like for physicians, for patients. That's more important. I don't think the lawyers understand how difficult it is for patients to be able to afford their medicines, afford health care. I believe we have people right in this building right now who are filming this who don't have health insurance, and what happens to people when they don't have health insurance. So, I see it every day.
They die. That's the game plan.
Well, it shouldn't be the game plan. The game plan is to keep people healthy and have them, live long, prosperous lives. And
like in China, they don't pay the physician if you get sick. He's failed. They pay him when you're well.
Well, there is some movement to try to encourage more wellness, and I just want people to have affordable health care, and that's why I'm doing this.
Nurse practitioners, they would be filling in for GPs and PAs, right? Physicians assistants. You're not going to see a doctor at the local level for minor stuff, huh?
Nurse practitioners and physicians assistants are filling that gap.
Yeah, more and more, I noticed.
Absolutely.
Okay, caller, does that help?
Yeah, thank you, and best of luck.
Well, thank you very much. As Rudy pointed out, the costs of going into medicine today are so prohibitive that a lot of people aren't going in as a GP, but they're going in as a specialist where they can make the real bananas. Of course, they won't be up here in Chautauqua County. They'll be down in New York City, probably most of them. Okay.
Well, that's true too. I mean, we have a primary care shortage in this area. We also obviously have a specialty area, and there's a specialists tend to migrate towards the more urban areas.
Right, and also we have another little problem. That's the disconnection of Medicare or Medicaid, especially also Medicare, but Medicaid particularly, from real market costs. A lot of doctors won't treat you on Medicaid. They say, I'm sorry, we're not going to do it. We don't get enough money out of it at all. After we've done the paperwork and everything, we lose money.
Well, hopefully with what the governor's done with the Affordable Care Act being passed and found constitutional, and then the Governor Cuomo, he's put in these exchanges and he's expanded Medicaid, and payments under Medicaid for primary care have improved. Hopefully that will improve access for people who are on Medicaid.
Which is half of the county. I mean, because of the fact that the companies up here are kind of small and poor, they don't give you they don't give you health care. And of course, a lot of people don't even have work, so they don't get anything. And Medicaid is becoming bigger and bigger.
Medicaid is a bigger portion of the health care dollars. People, if you don't have health insurance, though, which thousands of people in Chautauqua County don't have health insurance, they do not see the doctor on a regular basis. A lot of things go untreated or delay in treatment. They can't
delay
afford it.
causes a huge expense because you go in the hospital ever so sicker, and you have to use the emergency room, and what are you going to do?
And then that's the number that's the number one cause of bankruptcy for individuals in this country.
And hospitals, I might add. A lot of hospitals are going under because of the costs for people who have no insurance.
So at least I can bring that to Albany and try to knock some sense into them.
Knock some sense into them.
Yeah.
We were going to talk a little bit about cancer. You know, we have a cancer belt that runs right through Chautauqua County for colon cancer. There is a belt, and it's very high. There are new treatments for cancer, but they're prohibitively expensive in some cases. What are they doing about cancer? Where's the research heading? What are the expenses being covered? What are we going to do?
Well,
it's rampant in this country. More and more cancer.
Well, we don't know the cause of colon cancer, or at least it probably has some genetic and some dietary environmental thing. We're in Western countries a lot more animal fat diet, and so, but we don't know the cause of it. But as far as finding it, you want to get screened earlier. It's clearly been shown getting a colonoscopy or doing the stool card testing will find colon cancer earlier. You're much less likely to die from it, and that's why under the Affordable Care Act, for instance,
this is Obamacare, right?
Yes, and people on Medicare now, the screening test, that's covered, and the co-pays were eliminated. So the colonoscopies, so people can get their colonoscopies. But that's for people who are on Medicare. They have health insurance. But that also, now you're starting to see more and more insurance companies are now starting to follow that. And so if you have health insurance, you should be asking your doctor to get screened for colon cancer. And usually most people start at the age of 50. But if you don't have health insurance, what do you do? Well, fortunately through the Chautauqua Chautauqua County Health Network, you give them a call. They do have a free cancer screening program in place for people who don't have health insurance. So it's really important that you get screened. Now,
you can get it for free in Chautauqua County if you haven't got the dough, right?
You can get screened for colon cancer, but you got to jump through some hoops. It should be simpler. I wish everybody had health insurance. I wish everybody had a doctor. We're not there yet. Maybe someday, but it is there, the ability to get that covered. So if let's say you do end up having colon cancer and you need major surgery, but the treatments are much better.
If you catch it early, that's the secret.
Definitely, you want to catch it early, and hopefully you don't even get it. Hopefully, you've had some polyps and you get those removed, and you have that done every 5 years or something, and then you never have the problem. But there's still people who get colon cancer.
Okay, we'll stop there and we'll get back to that. You got a couple of calls. You want to take a
Sure.
Here? Good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Good morning, Reed. Good morning, Dr. Rudy. This is Linda Spalding.
Oh, she's married to the sweetest old man over there. She lives in Chautauqua,
All right.
I was just talking about Jack Bailey, the senior, the older Jack Bailey over there, and what a charmer he is. And I know you guys support Chautauqua big time, too.
Well, it's great to see you on the show this morning, Doctor. It's always
Thanks.
very informative.
Thank you.
I just wanted to call in about the services that are with the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging.
Okay. You have any left?
Yeah, of course we have them left.
Well, they've been cutting health care, and they've been cutting you guys. I know the Office of Aging. They've been knocking off the Office of Aging right and left because that's an easy one. It only takes care of the older people, and they're throwing the older people under the bus on the state level, the local level, and on the federal level.
Well, we're survivors, but people have to contact their elected officials, particularly those at the federal level, because that's where a lot of our money starts, and then it's filtered through the states and counties, etc.
Yeah.
So seniors should take an active part to find out what their representatives are doing.
Or not doing.
Right. Remember, they're working for you.
Yeah. And remember,
they're supposed to be.
Most seniors vote. That's one thing about it. They go out and vote. And
that's good.
They should take these rascals underhand and knock them right in the rear end and out because of what they're doing to the seniors.
Well, some of them are very good. Some of them are very supportive. So they're not all in that category.
How about Tom Reed? He's running now.
Yeah, Tom Reed is running for our district.
He's going to be in our district, yeah.
Yes. We did have Brian Higgins, who also was very helpful. He did a lot for our program. I know he was a big advocate, wrote letters of support to the Department of Labor on behalf of our major funding source. Tom Reed.
In a week or so, we're going to have the guy running against Tom Reed. You know his name?
Yeah, it's Sean something or other. I can't. I'm sorry.
Nate Shinagawa.
Shinagawa.
Nate.
Okay. Nate.
I'm sorry.
Well, look, I'm sorry I called Shinagawa's people and I said, change his name to Smith.
Right. Well, there was a man that ran for office in Lackawanna. It was a local office, and his name was Guy. And he had a bar, which of course everybody knew him. And he had this little slogan. He had never been in politics before. It went like this: don't be bashful, don't be shy, cast your vote for Ed Guy.
There you go.
And people remembered it, and he got elected.
Well, anybody who's not a politician who's running for office wins automatically. I won once that way. I branded my opponent as a politician. I won.
But anyway, we have to be in touch, find out what our elected officials are doing. But I want to remind people that there are wonderful services with the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging. The number is 753-4471.
Okay.
Dunkirk, toll-free, 363-4471.
Yeah, okay, great. How's your old man doing over there?
He's doing quite well.
How come he never comes out and talks to me
Well,
anymore?
I'm going to have to get him to be prepared to talk next week.
Yeah, well, I hear the dog's trying to talk.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, they were playing ball.
Oh,
and
okay.
they get a little territorial over
Are they
who's
little
gonna
boys
bring
or
it.
little girls?
They're boys.
Okay.
If you met them, you would know they're boys. They're very territorial.
Hey, Linda, thanks for doing what you do.
Yeah, thanks a
Well,
lot.
thank you for everything that you do, and have a great
And
weekend.
don't forget, get your ice fishing stuff ready because we're going to have ice before you know it.
Well, I hope it stays away for a little bit. I love the
Yeah,
fall.
well, it's down in the 30s coming up this week.
Oh, I better bring my plants in. Thanks
Yeah,
for
bring your
warning
plants
me.
in and get the heaters cranking.
Right.
Thanks, Linda Spalding.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah. Well, people want, people complain about the cost of Medicaid, and obviously it's very expensive in New York State.
No, we have the highest, that's the biggest budget item in the county, isn't it?
It's right up there.
Right up there,
It's
yeah.
the largest unfunded mandate. We're the only state, we're just about the only state that pays for Medicaid through a local share of the
Yeah,
property
for
tax.
putting the price on the local people. Poor counties like ours pay half the state cost. My God, well, they've changed that a little bit. I think we only pay 40% or something, but it's horrible.
Well, this is an example, though. I mean, here we have the Office of Aging, and they get help for people, the elderly at home, and the most cost-effective way to take care of the elderly is in their own homes, not in a nursing home. Who wants to live in a nursing home? Nobody wants to live in a nursing home.
Especially at $100,000 a pop.
And it's $100,000 a year. And so it's really important that what the Office of Aging does is they do provide services so seniors can stay in their own homes or with their family, which is what people want.
That's basically free. It's funded by the federal government, terminal care or whatever it is.
Well, that's different. It's not, I mean, I don't know if it's really free. I mean, it's being paid for somehow, but I think it's more cost effective, though, to have people remain in their own homes or with their families. If you get them some help, not every family can take care of every single elderly person. They need help. They may need some nursing services or some home health,
respite service.
Yeah,
give them a rest,
Yeah, it's really important, and if we undercut that or eliminate that, you're just going to drive more people into nursing homes. It's going to cost even more. So, again, I think I can bring that to Albany, that experience and that knowledge.
We need a doctor. You tell me there's no doctors at all in the assembly?
No, and there hasn't been for decades.
Well, what do they have against
doctors? That's why
most doctors are too smart to run for assembly.
It's,
nothing personal.
Yeah, thanks a lot. In theory, the government, the assembly, it was supposed to, people in Albany who are representing were supposed to be from all walks of life. So it wasn't just supposed to be lawyers. There would be businessmen, teachers, physicians, nurses, a broad spectrum of the society, so that they would bring that collective experience together.
Well, tell me, how did they get such a grip, the lawyers, on Albany? How do they keep getting reelected?
They writing the laws, special interest. It's that's why I believe in campaign finance reform. You have huge special interests that are just they're got their grip over Albany. I mean, that's why it's rotten in Albany. So I believe in campaign finance reform. That's one of the major reasons why I'm running. My opponent, he's against it, some form of publicly financing. I believe we need to have some of that.
I hear they print their own stuff over there and they mail it out for virtually nothing with the state. I mean, once you're in the assembly, you're in there for life now.
It is built that way. So the incumbents have an advantage, probably $16 to $20 million spending advantage every 2 years for 200 positions, 203.
How much for 200 positions?
203. I mean, there's 150 assemblymen, 53 senators, and there's probably between $16 and $20 million in bulk mailing spending
for this kind of nonsense,
paid by taxpayers. And so it's outrageous. So you could eliminate that benefit, take that money and do a fair public financing of campaigns. And Governor Cuomo's called for it, and I agree with him. And I'm going to try, if you get me to Albany, I'm going to try to set up some form. Get the special interest. I'm not taking special interest money. I'm not taking labor or PAC money or from the Democratic Assembly Campaign Committee. I'm not taking special interest money.
Big money.
And if I do make it to Albany, I'm not going to use the franking taxpayer, all those literature things that are paid for by taxpayers and sending out that campaign literature and saying you're just educating the public. It's outrageous. I'm not doing it.
So you think that things are kind of rotten up there, especially with the campaign funding that they give to incumbents, and secondly, of course, all the dough that rolls in from the special interests.
New York State got rated one of the worst in the country. I think they got a D- or some report card on there. It's obviously there's a huge corruption there, and that's why the government doesn't always do the thing that's right for the people, because the special interests have such a grip over it.
Yeah, for a long time. They had special interests had blocked you from buying plain old reading glasses in the pharmacy for $1, or I can get them over at the something tree over in Dunker for $1 a piece, and you had to pay only your Oculus could give you reading glasses. They have 3 or 4 different, 1, 2, 3, 4 power. That's it, and you put them on and you see better. That's it. It's no big deal. You don't need an Oculus for $60, $100 to examine you, and for your $30 glasses, which you can buy for $1. The legislature stopped that. No buying them for $1. You gotta go to the Oculus. For years, they finally changed that. Yeah.
Got my dollar ones right here.
Yeah, I got my $1 one right in my pocket here. I carry it around with an old pouch. I always have to have it.
My arms aren't long enough to.
Rudy, I just got this message, and you've heard this before. We're out of here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, you've got 30 seconds to kind of close off, or maybe even a minute. Go ahead.
Well, I hope I can get the voters to support me in November. I'm trying to make healthcare more affordable and accessible for you and your family, and I'm again the lakes, our natural resources, trying to protect and preserve them. Campaign finance reform. We didn't talk about education.
Well, they're telling us how important education is. Oh, they cut the Pell Grants. They're cutting the funding, the loans. Yeah. They're cutting the education funds. Oh, but it's so important. We're running behind the world. Yeah, baloney. Nobody cares.
You need to have a quality education to make it, and you need to be healthy, and that's why we need affordable health care, quality education to be a productive society, to get the jobs of the 21st century. And we can do it. We can do it in Western New York, and we can do it in Chautauqua County. We have JCC, Fredonia, Chautauqua Institution. We are the world's learning center, and so you can get a quality education here, and we can turn this county around. And I'm going to help lead it if the voters can send me to Albany. Again, to be the first physician in decades.
You're campaigning now, but so did Andy Goodell.
Well, thanks for the opportunity for letting me be here.
Okay, thank you very much. We have some really special. Sorry, last caller didn't get in. That's all right. We'll have you back after you're reelected. After you're elected to the Assembly, along with Andy Goodell. Okay. Chuck Kelsey, what a job, what a job. Devin Taylor, Chris Bart, Randy Bart. Randy Burt, Chris Burt, and Randy's doing the camera work right now. He's focusing on me.